here and spending your time with us this Saturday evening dito sa ating Hult Prize Launchpad, the webinar series of the Hult Prize at University of Mindanao. We are still on the journey, on our journey with the Hult Prize, the biggest global movement for social enterprise. And we welcome you once again to Hult Prize Launchpad, the Hult Prize at webinar series, where we provide you with information, learning, ideas, and inspiration for your next startup as you join the Hult Prize 2021 Challenge, which is the Food for Good, transforming food into a vehicle for change. So, just a recap to all that who just came in and to sa yung mga bago pa lang sumali dito sa ating Hult Prize, and to know more about the Hult Prize. The challenge actually is that Hult Prize is looking for food enterprises, viable food enterprises that will create job, reimagine supply chains, and improve outcomes for 10 million people by 2030. So that can be a product, machine, an innovation, a digital innovation that will make our food industry even more effective and help our people in working in those industries as well. So later we will share with you what the Hult Prize at has prepared for you as we go on in this on-campus program leading to the global final competition, which we are actually eyeing to have. And of course, for you to have an opportunity to be funded with $1 million startup capital to scale up your businesses. So sa on-campus pa lang, we will have more activities to help you reach that, because we wanted at Hult Prize at that you will, one of our contestants here or challenger here will reach the global final competition. It's a pride of Mindanao, it's a pride of and it's a pride of Philippines. So we are expecting that. Again, this is Rob Gumba, the operations manager of the Hult Prize at and your moderator for tonight's event. And before anything else, we would like to acknowledge our partners for this Hult Prize at on-campus program. First is the Senso Hub. Thank you very much. We also would like to thank the support given to us by the Council of Student Government, and we thank the Street by our media partner Mindanao Times, unicorn.org, and the United Nations through its Office of Partnership. Of course, the on-campus program will not be possible without the efforts and of the dynamic HP at ExeCom. Of course, I would like to acknowledge them, headed by the campus director, Mr. Richard R. Day. Thank you so much. Our community engagement manager, Ms. Hannah Tamayo. Our finance manager, Mr. Luke Perez. Our social media manager, Jessica Gloria Cabanilla. And our content designer, Ms. Monica Maniquez. Thank you very much. And for those who cannot come or cannot join us here diri sa ato ang Zoom call, they can watch us through our Facebook Live sa atong Facebook page, that Hult Prize at University of Mindanao. And also, we would like to encourage you to follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Ipangita lang ninyo out at Hult Prize Ayan. Thank you so much. Later on, we will be asking for your questions for our speakers. For our speaker, rather, our speaker, and you may just send them through sa atong chat box or sa atong comment section, and our friends from the HP at ExeCom will put them forward for you later on. All right, so again, thank you for joining us. This is the second session already of our Launchpad, the HP at webinar series, and our title for this evening is Building Business with Impact. Of course, we know that apart from profitability and scalability, Hult Prize also prioritizes impact. But how do we make an enterprise, our enterprises or startups, more impactful? What does it really take to be a social entrepreneur. So, okay, so our guest for tonight um, is known for her peace advocacy. She is a multi-awarded social entrepreneur. Among her awards include being the national winner for Philippines for the ASEAN Inclusive Business Award for Small Enterprise and finalist for the ASEAN Business Awards 50th anniversary for being an inclusive business. She also received the ASEAN Leadership Award on Rural Development and Poverty Alleviation in helping the poor and the marginalized people. ASEAN SNME Excellence Award on Corporate Social Responsibility, and the Department of Labor and Employment Productivity Olympic awardee, being the regional winner on Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprise on Innovation as a micro enterprise. And just recently, and we would like to congratulate her for that, she was the only Asian to win the prestigious 2020 Oslo Business for Peace Award organized by UN Global Compact and the Business for Peace Foundation. She is the founder and executive officer of the Coffee for Peace, an enterprise that aims to empowering our farmers, protecting our environment, and promoting the message of peace. Please welcome Miss Felicitas Joji Pantoja. Hello, ma'am. So we will be playing your video as we start your talk for this evening for a while.
Ang Barangay Managa ay lupa ng mga Bagubo Tagabawa. So, from the municipality of Santa Cruz and a portion of Davao City, Digos, Bansalan, and Makilala is part of the Bagubo Tagabawa tribe. Ang buhay po namin sa Barangay Managa, yung pumasok na yung mga settlers, hindi naman maiwasan na pumapasok sila. Kasi yung mga Bagubo, wala namang kasing alam noong una.
So, relational harmony with others. Anong ibig sabihin nun? We are peace missionary and we work in conflicted areas and we go to the Muslim areas and we listen to their stories. As we do that, I cannot understand talking about peace without addressing the economic issues. My lens was looking for something that would address the immediate needs of those people. And I saw that coffee was being served to us. And I said, wow, coffee is a common drink for the Muslims, for the Lumads or the indigenous people, and for the Christians. So probably I could use coffee as an iconic product for peace, a vehicle for peace. And that's how it started.
Yung Coffee for Peace, silang Ma'am Joji, sila po yung nagatudlo sa amin doon sa Davao. Bumibili sila ng cherry sa amin, dalalhin namin sa Davao, doon namin i-gina-process. Sabay kami lahat yung may-ari ng kape, siya po yung mag-process doon sa kanilang processing area sa Davao. Doon kami naka-sinati ng yun pala ang kape para mayroong potensyal na tumataas yung presyo sa aming kape. Ngayon, salamat sa Ginoo nga ni saka gid among kape, ni taas ang presyo.
I told the coffee farmers that it's time to give back to the real owner of the land, to have that participation in the income, so that the Bagobo tribe could really be participants in the increased income for their community.
Sa ngayon, okay naman yung mga Christians kasi nalaman naman nila na yan talaga ang rights ng mga tribo. Alam nila na itong lupa na ito talagang sa tribo, sa Bagubo.
Kung magplanting mo og kape, kinahanglan ang space niya 2 by 3.
So now Ariel, having acquired all those skills in processing coffee, is now ready to give back. So what we did was put the processing area intentionally at their place so that they could learn and be blessed also. So at least there would be continuous blessing from top to down. Coffee for peace is not just for peace, because the meaning of peace in our peace is also harmony with your environment. So we support in protecting our environment because of the recent phenomenon of climate change. We need to be
Ayan. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. At least you have seen a preview on how we started and what we are doing right now. I just want to put it on the next slide on the peaceful source. Can you move the slide, please? On the third one. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Coffee for Peace. No, yes. So Coffee for Peace. This is what we wanted to our buyer to recognize us, that we produce world grade coffee and we are sourcing this from peaceful source. So you would see that coffee is an old product. We dressed it with the story of the farmers and why we established Coffee for Peace. It's more on bringing the message of peace so that others would hear what is peace. And coffee, being present here in Mindanao, as an iconic product to represent peace. So our goal is to put just coffee in every cup. Next slide. So we are supplying conflict-sensitive coffee. Why conflict-sensitive coffee? When we started Coffee for Peace, we were working, that was in 2007, 2008, we were working in Cotabato City, in Midsayap area, in Basilan, where conflicts are prominent. So, parati kaming nagvi-visit sa mga areas na yon, and because we are new in Mindanao, we ride on with other peace workers. So kasama namin ang Mindanao People's Caucus, Mindanao People's Peace Movement, Mindanao Peace Weavers, and other peace workers. And we were part of those group that listens to the stories of the people of Mindanao. And we've learned that there are three major groups here in Mindanao: the Christianized, the Islamized, and the indigenous people. So we are supplying conflict-sensitive coffee. We listen to people on the ground on what they see as their problem and what solution are they expecting. So what we try is we try to guide them understand the root cause of their problem. And it involves a lot of time to be able to unearth that. Next slide. So at the time that we were listening and serving coffee, listening to the stories of Mindanaoans, we noticed that they stopped fighting, they put down their guns, and started listening to each one's story and started having dialogue. So, kapag marami palang sineserve na kape, at least less ang putukan. Walang namamatay. That's why we thought of using coffee as an iconic product for peace. So next slide. Now, this thing that we have started, the coffee trading system, it takes 3 years for the farmers to be trained in coffee production. So you have to think of, as a social entrepreneur, that you have a social enterprise and the social economy that supports around it. What do you do as a social entrepreneur? Ikaw na social entrepreneur who will be starting something. You would be exposed and seeing problem of the society. For example, in our case, it's the peace situation. How can a person understand peace if they are hungry? How can I listen to peace workers if there's no stability in our situation in the land? They needed to feel justice. They needed to be heard. They needed to be fed. So all those things are necessary for them to understand peace. So peace alone, because it's so not tangible, you cannot touch it. So what would be the concrete product that you could give so that they would understand peace? Now in coffee, it will take 3 years for a new product to be to grow. Like when you start yung puno ng kape, 3 years pa siya bago mamunga. So during that 3 years, you should have the patience. Second thing, if you just plant coffee, hindi pa rin masasagot ang gutom. So it has to be diversified farming. Kasi kung kape lang, gutom pa rin sila. Why? Because it only produces once a year, from November, sometimes October to February, December to March. And very blessed ang mga taga Mount Apo because daily, all year round, no? All year round, may bunga yung kape nila. But that's an odd for a coffee tree. Now, so it takes 3 years. What we do is we buy from the farmers their coffee cherries. When they are trained, we source out coffee beans from them. And then 25% of our gross sale goes back to investing in the community. Next slide, please. You would see that since 2008, when we started Coffee for Peace, we have already touched 880 families, restored to safety, and have provided livelihood, an alternative for their income. Reached 13 tribes, not only in Mindanao, but also in Kalinga and also in Antique area and Mindoro, the Mangyans. So, hindi lang sa Mindanao ang work ng Coffee for Peace. We have witnessed 300% increase in income sa mga farmers, and at least there are 348,000 trees planted all over those places that we have worked with. Now, what did we do? Next slide, please. As an entrepreneur, you have to consider, so an entrepreneur is also an innovator. So you think of things, how can I help these coffee producing communities improve the quality of coffee they are producing? Second is, how many coffee trees do we have here in the Philippines? And how much of those coffee trees are producing and supplying our own people? Now you would see, we need some technological changes that you have to introduce to farmers. Before kasi, you see yung sa video, they do just the natural process, which means they pick the cherry, they put it on the dryer and air dryer and remove the pulp when it's dry. Now, at Coffee for Peace, we have introduced different types of processes. So, first thing that we needed to collaborate with other partners was providing equipment to those farmers that we have trained. Kasi kung mano-mano, if they do it by hand, it would take longer. So if you want to process more, you need equipment. But to buy the equipment, it will be so expensive for the farmers. That's why second thing that the entrepreneur, the social entrepreneur should do would be learning how to collaborate and learning how to play with a team. You know, you cannot do it alone. You cannot address social problem alone. That's why you need to think and collaborate with other people. Like here, we collaborated with other INGOs and government agencies like DA, DTI, so that we can improve their post-harvest facility. Now, what do we do there? What does those equipment help with? So next slide, please. So yung equipment na yan would help us process their coffee cherries and produce good green beans. So those are the coffee cherries na dapat makikita mo when you pick your coffee and process your coffee. It should be all ripe. Now, not necessarily red because okay. Oh, nawala ako. Next slide, please. Next slide. So as an innovator, as an entrepreneur, you always have to think ahead. What else would be the problem of the farmers? So now they have produced green beans. What would be next? it would be hard for the farmers to invest right away with their roasting machine. So Coffee for Peace have thought of ahead of time that this would be a problem, because this is the problem that we have encountered, no, before. So ang ginawa namin, we have designed our own roasting facility, and we are right now applying for FDA so that this facility will be FDA approved. Why? According to the new normal, we have to make it necessary that the product that we produce are clean and safe. So next slide, please. So this is what we produce on that small roasting facility. We produce good roasted coffee, and we have diversified our product by calling our premium quality Kapayapaan, our specialty coffee, a coffee for peace Malipayon honey process, and our mix of Robusta as Kapayapaan 4 a.m. So, depende na sa inyo how you wanted to innovate your product and how you wanted to present it sa inyong buyer. So, what we wanted to put there on our product is roasted by Coffee for Peace, our coffee partner. Why? Because we're encouraging coffee farmers to roast their own coffee. Now, if they don't have a roasting facility, they could pay a toll-free fee at our shop, at our roastery, and they could package and brand their own coffee on the way they wanted it be branded. And ilalagay lang namin na we are partner with them so that when we have that FDA facility certification, kasama na rin sila na yung isa-sell nilang product could be having a CPRN, or a product that is registered and tested by Department of Health, no? Now, the next round thing stamped there is par-trained community farmers. This is our sustainability mark, because we spend time with our farmers, with our farming community, through our investment in relationship and social preparation. So ito yung tinatawag mong social capital. You're not only investing on technology, but you're investing yourself socially. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is when you invest yourself socially, you have to be involved with the people you are working with. And being involved means empathic listening to those people. Empathic listening involves your mind, your heart, and your will. So you really listen to the problems that they are saying. So if you are a social enterprise, you really have to practice listening to others. That's why God created us having 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we could listen more and share less. So mas mag-share ang mga coffee farmers sa atin. Next slide. So we have created also a space, and I think this is where Rob has visited, no? This place, we call it a space for peace, no? Why is it a space for peace? This is a space where you can take your loved one or your kagalit so that you would have discussion. Or if your community has some, some arguments, then come, have coffee, and experience the silence and the peacefulness of this place, wherein the aroma of the coffee would put you and make you relax so that you are prepared to be peaceful in your conversation with others. So when we say peace, it's not just the absence of war. Peace means it's more of your relational harmony with your creator, relational harmony with yourself, relational harmony with others, and relational harmony with the creation. So if you see, it's the holistic approach on peace. So you can apply it not only in a conflicted areas, but also in the classroom and also in the household, also in your with your friends. No, if you want to have peace and reconciliation and conflict resolution, then have coffee and discuss whatever arguments you are having. So in that coffee shop, next slide. In that coffee shop, we encourage other entrepreneurs who are introducing their product so that we can create more entrepreneurs. Like for example, that cookies. We have in-house baked cookies, and we are telling Mary, who baked that cookies, to create her own social enterprise. So that everybody should be thinking of making business. Why? 90% of our economy are supported by micro, small, and medium enterprises. Few lang yung big corporation. So, if we wanted our economy to rise up, let's be creative, let's be innovative, let's become enterprising and create business. Like for example, you in the university, you are studying. And I hope you're not just studying to land unemployment. I hope you're studying to create employment for others. And this is where I wanted to take you. Because if we wanted our country to be progressive, then let's think of being entrepreneurial, especially being social entrepreneurial, because we have so many social problems in our country that we could use and address, and we can help our country rise up more, especially during this pandemic. And you will be more confident as students that as you study and develop your own business, because you have more control of your time, you have more control of your money, and you have your heart will be full because you are helping others to get employment. Next slide, please. So this is an example of one community that we started with. No, before they were only earning 30 to 50 pesos per kilo sa kanilang coffee, but right now the coffee price mataas na. So, and they are being sought for by Canadians and people in the US and Europeans, because we have proven that we have good quality coffee. So right now, 350 kilo, mababa pa yan, ano? So for an Arabica, so I'm talking of an Arabica coffee. So what did we do as a social enterprise that made impact to others? So next slide, you would see that when we started in 2008, in 2010, we were recognized already by Philippine Business for Social Progress and Bid Challenge, and as one of the company that addresses the three bottom line, which is people, planet, and profit. And that's very important when you think of your social enterprise. You have to always think of the people, the social aspect. You have to always think of how the people, the social aspect, affects our environment, because that would be the big issue in the years to come, because we're facing climate change. We can see that when there are storms and earthquakes and flooding, typhoons in our country, you see that. So you, young people, as yourself, what do you think can you contribute as a solution, as part of the solution to our country, so that we can rise up? So 2013, we were recognized by Asian Development Bank and we were invited in the discussion. PricewaterhouseCoopers recognized us in our contribution as a developmental social award enterprise. 2017, what Rob mentioned, no? So next slide, please. So our market segmentation, after all those awards, how do we earn money? Or do we really earn money, or is just the farmer earning money? Both. So when you're a social entrepreneur, you made sure that you are also profitable. Why? Because if you're not profitable, you will close your business. Therefore, your impact to others will be stopped. So you have to be profitable, but also the people that you are helping are profitable also. So we have this Coffee for Peace showroom, or the space for peace that we have created through our coffee shop, which 54% of that contributed to our income. 22% would be as a local roaster to other people for corporate, industrial, and individual online buyers. And 26% are coming from our green beans to sell to traders and international people. So those are the three income stream that Coffee for Peace are getting. Next slide, please. This is another one, but because of COVID, it's just waiting there. But it's a peace learning tour. Why? Because our coffee buyers, especially our green bean coffee buyers, wanted to visit the farm, wanted to meet the farmers, wanted to see how coffee are being processed, wanted to taste the coffee. So we visit the cupping laboratory at Davao del Sur State College, State University, where they have a cupping lab. And then we bring them to our coffee shop. So that loop alone would give you an idea on how it is to be involved in the coffee industry. Next slide, please. As we continue on, 2019, we received a Sustainable Business Award, 2 of them. And then this year, we were chosen as one of the honorees for the Oslo Business for Peace Award. We are so thankful that we are being recognized like this because it is the impact that speaks. It's not the coffee that we sell. It's not that. When they visit the community, they see improvement in the community. And also as an entrepreneur, when I look back and look at the farmers, your heart is full because you know that you are not the only one earning money, but also the farmers are earning money and they're earning more than us. So we still are reshaping our approach because of this new normal. So we are strategizing what else do we do? Because as an enterprise, you always have to revisit your business plan. So we have business plan in 2007, 2008 when we were starting. We revisited that business plan in 2015. We revisited that business plan in 2018. Now we're revisiting it because of the new normal, and we have to recalibrate because what other strategies could we apply on so that we could still market as Coffee for Peace and we could help farmers expose their product. Next slide, please. So those are our goals. We wanted to develop our warehouse. We wanted to have our truck that would pick up goods from the farmers. And of course, the LTO FDA licensed facility is now being implemented. So you keep on dreaming. As an entrepreneur, you don't stop. You keep on dreaming, you keep on innovating. And that's how you grow. So Thank you very much. I hope you learned something from my little presentation on how it is to become a social enterprise. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma'am Joji. That's so, that's so enlightening, that's so enriching because sometimes we only just think of, creating a business, building a business. Of course, that would help us and help us our families. But the when you also parang onboard some other people to benefit from your success, that is also something great. And there are a lot of things that we actually learned from your presentation. It's just like it's already a precursor for the boot camp that we will be doing on around December. December. So after we pick the the enterprises that who will register, we will have the boot camp as well. So that's already a parang starting point. It's a launch pad already somehow. Of course, our dear students, if you have more questions and you have kumbaga, you have also comments, you can put them on our chat box. Ayan, so or sa mga friends ninyo, tell them to check our Facebook page and comment their questions as well to Ma'am, to Miss Joji. So, I just have one question, Miss Joji, because when you started the Coffee for Peace, uh, it it seems like it's already so big, no? Parang parang you go to a community, you work with peace builders, and you realize that coffee is being served, and that was your inspiration. What were the how big it is to really enter into a social entrepreneurship? Because for example, as students wanted to help the community, they see a problem, but where do they begin, and how big is ano ba kalaki yung kailangan nilang isurpass to be able to start a social enterprise?
Okay. The first to struggle with is yourself, the person himself. Because as an entrepreneur, given that entrepreneur is hard na, no? Being a social entrepreneur is much harder. Why? Because you are worrying for two things: your social impact and your profit. So in one person, you have to be a good business person and you have to be a good community development worker. So the first thing that an entrepreneur should deal with is himself. That's why when I said peace is relational harmony with your creator, next is relational harmony with yourself. If you don't know yourself, and if you don't know what's your purpose in life, why God created you here, why were you born in Mindanao and not in Manila, why were you born in the Philippines and not in Canada or Europe, why were you born here in the first place, what is your purpose in life, and that you have to deal with. And you have to do a lot of retrospection and meditation and really connecting with the one who created you so that you can find that. And you need that strength, because that strength would be the one that would give you tenacity during challenges. So it's your, kumbaga, doon ka kukuha ng hugot mo when everybody's criticizing you. Oh, that would not work. You know, because there would be people that would not believe in what you're doing. And I got that when I was first starting Coffee for Peace. they told me, why are you doing everything? Why are you doing and dealing with the coffee farmers, the coffee beans, and the coffee shop? Why don't you just concentrate on the coffee shop and just buy roasted coffee? Why do you need to learn how to process coffee? Why do you need to teach the farmers how to process coffee? It's a lot of work. So they were criticizing me on that. So if I stop and admit and receive their criticism and not listen to the inner voice that I'm hearing, that I should pursue this because this is the only way I would understand the whole value chain of the coffee industry, and that's the only way I could understand the gaps and loopholes on where we could address and collaborate with people. So, and that's the very hard enemy, yourself.
Wow,
So
that is
that would be my answer.
it's speaking on a very spiritual level to us. Yeah, that's true. And um, nakaka-speechless, because there are actually a lot of students that who really wanted to go into enterprise and to know their parang to go into business, but you know parang they are being also told that way. It's very humbling that to hear that coming from a multi-awarded and those a person who has already created a great impact, that uh, you also encountered those kind of criticisms, and it's very humbling that if you parang if you were able to do it, we can also do it as well. Parang it's
Yeah,
so
and I
nice.
did it. Yeah, I did it at age 46. You're younger, so you have more time.
Yes. Thank you so much. So we have some questions here, Miss Joji. From Ivan Bert Damasco. He said, I noticed that Coffee for Peace is a quite extensive social enterprise, especially that it stands both ends in the production and in marketing. Working with such a diverse team, what are some of the major managerial issues you encountered and how you were able to resolve it? More of dealing with people and running the business. So what were your challenges in running the Coffee for Peace?
Okay. It's really hard. But again, let's go back to that basic foundation that we have. The values of Coffee for Peace, which is relational harmony with your creator, relational harmony with yourself, relational harmony with others, and relational harmony with the creation. So those are the four values we hold. And this is what we teach our employees. We operate on a flat system, not on hierarchical system. We operate on a teamwork. And by doing this, we have ownership of the totality of the advocacy of the organization. If you're a barista, you would know also how to roast coffee. You would know also how to go and teach the farmers the processes. You don't stop just serving the coffee at the consumer end, but you start and get exposure in the community so that you would understand how the community works. Then you have exposure on the processes and work with the processor so that you would understand how hard it is to process coffee. You have to experience sorting coffee here at Coffee for Peace, sometimes here at the coffee shop during their dead time. Oh, we will send them, oh, here, sort coffee. So you master what is not good and what is good coffee. So those things. So because we operate on a flat system, teamwork, we have a weekly meeting wherein we stress our roles. So basically, as long as the roles are defined and you have rules and reason for that, then good relationship with one another, then it's symbiotic that your group will progress. We started in 2008. And as you could see, it's now 2020, 14 years. And we have long-term employees that are still with us because they feel family. We work as a family. So that's how we do in terms of managerial. Thank you.
All right. So that's very great though that you all understood what the other person is doing, how hard their jobs are, so that when it comes to you, you'll not hurry them because they are following process, because you understood each other's work. So that's very great. So that's one way to parang resolve or to manage issues and to lessen kung naamay conflict. That's actually a good structure for an organization. So thank you very much for that, Miss Joji. There's a question from Miss Hannah Tamayo. She said, thank you for your informative talk, Miss Joji. I'd like to ask, how would a student become motivated to start thinking of an enterprise, knowing that one of the limiting factor is facing this pandemic? So,
Well, okay. Yeah, I know that this is very limiting factor, no? But sometimes opportunity comes when there are challenges, no? So in the Chinese character, the character for opportunity is also the same character for challenge. So if you're a student and you are locked in, try to think of something that you're experiencing personally, and what would be an innovative solution that you could do with what you're thinking. I will give you an example. This is the lady that I mentored here. We mentored as Coffee for Peace. So we have mentorship program for 2 years. They applied here and we mentor them. And then when we release them, they would be, you know, really good thinking of being enterprising. Now she's from Kalinga. They love weaving in Kalinga. Come pandemic, of course, she was only thinking of coffee as her business. But come pandemic, she started to think of the weaving that her grandparents and relatives are doing. And she started designing face mask, which is Kalinga woven materials. So she established her company, I Kalinga Peace Mask. Instead of face mask, peace mask with her design. And right now she has 1,400 orders from United Nations UNDP group, and it's growing, you know. So use this lockdown period, use these challenges to be creative, and you would find it within you. Kasi it would not be dictated. It has to come from you. So that's how I would unearth it.
mm-hmm. Kumbaga, we look into what's happening on our level, since you know there's a pandemic, and we also acknowledge we have our own kumbaga struggles as well. So we look into our struggles to find for opportunities. So also, Ms. Joji, maybe I will just also add a question, no? Because we are actually sa Hult Prize, we are actually our team is more of the food, and we are still, you know, exploring some of the opportunities where we can get in, where we can parang build an enterprise on. With your experience, with your experience with the coffee farmers and all other stakeholders working with you, was still there a part of the agriculture or the food industry that you think still need interventions, or you thought that this could have been better if some this thing there is this thing. So do you get to that point, Ms. Joji?
Yeah. You know, our country is very blessed. Why? We are rich in agriculture. But the question is, why are the farmers still poor? Why are the people in the industry of agriculture still poor? Why are the fisher folks still poor when we are so rich in natural resources? So there's coconut industry that needed to be developed. Sabi nga nila, in coconut walang tapon, lahat mapapakinabangan. I'm pretty sure that one of you could develop more from the coconut. Ang dami nang na-discover dyan. Like even the bao turned into ashes can be cleansing thing for the water, yung charcoal, no? So I have visited Alamada and I have observed what other things can you make out of coconut, and I witnessed someone making a sort of teriyaki sauce out of the coconut juice. When I tasted it, I said, this is very good. And then from the coconut pulp, they have created coconut coffee. Mix it with coffee, it's different taste. But at least, you know, it could go into other baked products. So the product is just here. But we have to nurture our creativity. And this is what our education system are lacking or have conditioned us. They have conditioned us to be nurses, teachers, engineers, doctors, so that we could work abroad and earn money and be the slave of other employers and work for them forever and ever, amen, until we grow old. If you're a nurse, you break your back until your back is broken, then you cannot work, you know. But we were never taught to become enterprising, to become innovative, to be producing with our own hands. You know, when I was in the elementary school, I was making my own polvoron and yema and selling it to my classmate. Because I know right there and there, my grandma owns a flower shop. So she's entrepreneurial. And I see that if you want money, you have to create something with your hands. I created my own gift for my friends through the beeswax candle. I created candle. I decorated, you know, some blank thing and decorated it with some materials so that it would be differently looking, and I would sell it. Or sometimes I would give that as gift. So the creativity is in us. You just have to nurture it. And if you don't practice, of course, it will not come. We have to practice. We have to transform our education system so that we are training more our children to be creative, to be solving problems, to be making solution to the problems that we see. And that's how I see you could do as a student.
Wow, that's so great, Miss Joji. I was just brought back to when I was still covering stories as well sa mga businesses, and because you mentioned on the coconut industry, yeah, they still have this problem or struggle with how do you call this, their machineries and things like that. And I actually asked them because recently we have been told that coconut is a potential, or the VCO is a potential for curing, or parang curing COVID-19. And I asked them, how did you feel about it, that that your product or your produce is has a potential market now with the COVID-19 pandemic. And they share that it's very hard, because what usually happens is that someone has to parang value add their parang, they will just buy the coconut for a lower price, and someone who bought it will value add it and sell it on a higher price, so they're not getting anything as well. So parang it just came back to my memory, their struggles with the coconut. And I'm sure that there are also still the same stories with other with other crops and with other sector in our food industry. So that's very enlightening, Miss Joji. So uh, we have a question here from Jenny Lin Ang. She asked, how did you acquire resources and capital? Are you already an entrepreneur before you started Coffee for Peace? So resources and capitalization on starting. So very advanced. Sige, go.
Well, I started as a peace worker. So that means I have no money. But I have a big vision. And I have a big heart and passion for what I believe would work. So, if you have that conviction, money will follow. Why did I say that? God gave you an intellect to write business proposal, right? So, you don't have money, then you write your concept. This is the idea that I have. Who should I apply to? What can I do? During that process that we are developing Coffee for Peace, I know for a fact that I needed money. So at first, I used my own savings to buy coffee, to experiment, because I'm experimenting. I wanted to prove that our coffee is good. So I have to learn how to process it and how to present it to our buyer. So my husband and I used our own money. When we ran out of our own money, before we ran out, I started writing business proposal. And when I won the award with Citibank, I got 300,000 pesos, and I used that to fabricate our own roasting machine, a local roasting machine. Why? Because I saw right away that that's what the gap is in terms of me being an entrepreneur. I have to learn how to roast, but if I roast it like manually, it would take me forever. So I did my research. I went to the tribe. I saw an old roasting machine that was used by the tribe, which is, you crank it and it's manual. And I said, wow. I took that model, I drew that model, and I talked to an engineer. I said, how much would it cost me to develop a machine that is powered by electricity and, that I don't need to do this? And she said, oh, okay, I can do that. So we drew and we agreed, and I used the prize money for that. And because of that, I earn more money from the coffee, because now I'm roasting my own coffee. Then I needed to grow. I needed to develop some more processing area. I collaborated with government agencies, and that's how I learned to talk for the farmers. So when I collaborated with the government agencies like DA and DTI, they have funds, they have budget. And those funds, they don't know where to give it to, because they are too far from the farmers. So what we did was help the farmers write proposal, and we become the manager for their benefit. So in one proposal that we wrote, and this is in Bukidnon, they were able to acquire all the equipments that are necessary for coffee processing, which was worth 3.9 million. So the coffee farmers in Bukidnon are all set with their own equipment. Not my money, but just your mind, your handwriting proposal, and consultation with other people, and listening to where the funds are coming from. Like you could write proposal to Hult and win. So those things. So the most important thing is you should believe on what you're doing. And if you believe on what you're doing, funds will follow. You will not worry about it.
All right, thank you very much. That's a very the very great segue, no? Because for for our challengers right now who will be joining the Hult Prize on Campus program, we will actually have prizes. I was actually scanning for the prize. I think it was 10,000 pesos for the first prize, 5 for the second, and 3,000 for the third prize. So yes, we have prizes for you. So if you just join the Halt Prize Challenge, that can be a good start. If you win, that can be a good start to somehow start your own enterprise as well. So that's very good. So you go into parang funding agencies, collaborate and look for people. That's networking. And because government like DTI and DA have funds for that, really. They even parang partnered with some of the NGOs to para i-award or ibigay yung mga fundings nila. And that's a very good, but it will only happen if you yourself know or learn on your own how to write proposals. There are actually many resources already, Miss Joji, like this one, no, to to parang how to create proposal, how to network with people, and that's one way to get funding for your social enterprise. And that's very good. That the first thing that you have to consider is to believe in yourself, that you can do it, and you will do it because you have the conviction to do it. All right, so there is a question. We have already introduced the Coffee for Peace, Miss Precious, no? But siguro I'll just take this last part. Parang how is Coffee for Peace being affected by this pandemic, and how are you coping with it? Because
Of course,
yeah.
everybody has been affected by the pandemic. I have to worry about the security in terms of health of my workers. So during the lockdown, we really require them not to come to work, but we will still support them and give them allowances. And good thing that we were able to apply also with the government agency on the funding that they have available for workers. So that helped. Then we started opening in August, the coffee shop. But before the coffee shop opened, our roastery are already functioning. And we have intensified our presence on social media. So we posted a lot of coffee being prepared and all those brewing techniques and roasted coffee and order online, all those things. Another adjustment that we have to do was restructure our web page and really applied for a funding for somebody who knows how to work the back door of your web page so that you can integrate those online payments and cashless payments and things. So we were able to win an award from UNDP. So we got help from them in terms of making our presence different online, and we're working on it. So you can visit our website in the future. We're still fixing it, but we wanted our products to be there. Also, during lockdown, we retrained our barista. And that's why right now they know how to roast coffee, how to post picture on their own Facebook. We teach them marketing. And then if there are webinars, I send them one by one. Like there are webinars for theory of change and design thinking. So rather than me attending that, I send them so that they could restructure their mind and educate their mind more on how a social enterprise work. And who knows, they could produce another enterprise. So that's how we cope with the pandemic.
So that's very usually ganyan talaga ginagawa, no? Creating the e-commerce platform, increasing parang presence on social media. So that's actually almost the same, but at least now you are still ongoing sa inyong operations, Miss Joji. Tama.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So there is a question here from Althea. Good evening po, Miss Joji. I would like to ask if you don't mind, because she is inspired by your innovation, what was the biggest challenge that you consider that you reached to the point that you have to think twice? Parang yung moment na sinabi niyo po na tama ba tong ginagawa ko, mag-work ba ito, and how did you surpass all of it? Yun.
Okay. I told you, diba, the biggest enemy is yourself. So my biggest enemy was myself. The lack of confidence on what you can do. I have cried so many times because I don't believe in myself. I got scared so many times because I'm scared of facing big people. I'm just, I'm not a speaker. This one, I have to overcome also. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a business person. But with all those challenges, I have to learn how to fight with myself. That give yourself a chance. You can do it. Why don't you enroll? So I enrolled. I looked for scholarship because I lack management skills. I'm not good in accounting. I'm not a lawyer. How do you deal with all those, legalities? And you cannot be all. So first, you have to deal with yourself and be confident enough that you can do it. So educate yourself, enroll in courses that would improve you. So I enrolled in Ateneo and finished my master's in social enterprise development. And I continue reading books, and I continue teaching others. And with teaching others, I continue to nurture my brain and my mind. You admit also where you're not good at. I'm not a lawyer. So I really sought for a good lawyer that would be compatible with our dreams. So now I just have a retainer fee for a lawyer. I'm not good in accounting. I cannot do it all. I know I'm good in Excel, and I know that I'm good in financial management, but to be tied up in the office doing all those books would discounting myself on the other gifts and capabilities that I have. So I have to learn how to delegate those. So I hired an assistant here that would help me in our books, and an outsource a bookkeeper and an auditor for us, an accountant. So those things. So accept your limitation, enhance where you can still enhance yourself with the potential.
Wow, thank you so
That's
much.
it.
And you have reached already so much. You have already touched many people's lives with that you with your own desire to learn, no? So parang you were able to help and lift other people's up with your enterprise and enhancing yourself as well. So that's very enlightening, very valuable lessons from Miss Joji. Of course, since we don't have questions anymore, I will turn you, thank you, Miss Joji, for your sharing. I will turn you now to um, our campus director for his closing remarks, Sir Richard Day.
To the Hult Prize challengers, students, faculty, and guests who are with us this evening, thank you very much for spending your Saturday night with us. This is the second time that we are airing the Hult Prize at UM Launchpad, and we remain overwhelmed by your support and interest to tune in with us and listen to the impact storytelling from our resource person. To the executive committee of the Hult Prize at UM, operations manager Rob Gumba, community manager Hannah Tamayo, social media manager Jessica Cabanilla, finance manager Luke Perez, and graphic designer Monica Maniquez. Thank you for your consistent hard work and determination to provide a great learning and fun experience for the Hult Prize at UM Challengers this year. And of course, this event would not be possible and successful without our resource person this evening. That's the Coffee for Peace CEO and founder, Miss Joji Pantoja. Ma'am, thank you very much for responding to our invitation despite your hectic schedule. We are so inspired to hear your stories as a businesswoman and a peace advocate as well. We guarantee to you that we will share the valuable takeaways that we have heard from you tonight. Like one, that an entrepreneur is supposed to be or should be an innovator. That change makers should have improved existing products, to have it as their launch pad in creating impact to the community. And two, that we should learn, or change makers, social enterprise founders should learn how to collaborate. People can't do work alone, right? So sabi ni Ma'am Joji, be a team player and collaborate with your people, with your team. And as a social entrepreneur, you have to be profitable so you could continue helping others if you still exist. And for you to exist, you have to be good at your job, be good with your enterprise for you to help more people. So now making my speech relevant to the challenge this year, which is Food for Good. I hope that our challengers, hey guys, I hope that your eyes are now wide open to the social realities in the Philippines from the stories of Miss Georgia and perhaps uh, from the talk of our previous speaker last Saturday. So in the Philippines, farmers are still living on daily subsistence. So no matter how hard they work, they remain poor because of the agricultural system and even the government system that is not empowering to the farmers financially and morally. So we're thankful that we have people like Miss Joji and Kofi for Peace that are trying to change this narrative. So medyo marami pa din yung may ganong context. So we have to broken that kind of system. We have to break that kind of system. And secondly, we take pride as an agricultural country, as mentioned by Miss Georgie. And this is not a secret, right? So we are an agricultural country, but many people still suffer hunger. So we have a lot of surplus food from restaurants and even from huge farms or companies, but these goods just go to waste. This is very saddening, right? Finally, for you to really realize what's happening all around you, so this is where you can, create your solutions as your entry point to the Hult Prize Challenge this year. Our farmers are still seen as slave people who are not good enough and disenfranchised. The system has taken much from them. So let's end this today. So perhaps tonight. So if you have developed already something from the talk of Miss Joji. So students, we can change the world. You can do great things and lift people up. Change starts now. So, and you can do that by going to our website and to our Facebook page at Hult Prize at University of Mindanao. Just gather 3 to 4 people from the university, might be your friends, your dorm mate. So individuals who share the same passion, and that is to change the world, to make the current world a better place in the future. And submit your impact-driven enterprise idea, because you can win 10,000 pesos on the on-campus program of Hult Prize, as much as 10,000 pesos, that's the grand prize, and $1 million US dollars on the world's competition. So Miss Joji already shared how she used the prizes she gathered or she earned from the competitions and from the agency she wrote proposal. I think you can do it. Hult Prize could be your first agency funder. So what are you waiting for? After this webinar, go to our Facebook page, go to our website, and register. Thank you very much again, Miss Joji.
Thank you very much, Sir Richard Day, our campus director of the Hult Prize at University of Mindanao. And speaking of collaborating, I guess our Discord room is already okay. So maybe later our friends from the HP at UM ExeCom will send you the Discord Discord invite so that you can have you can look for your teams there as well, because we really created that for you. And of course, I hope that you change makers have already things in mind to build your enterprise in the coming of days. So you just go to our website, that's www.hultprizeat.com/um-Philippines. And you can still send us your questions if you have concerns on, you know, the criteria, and through our Facebook account and through your friends in the HP ExeCom. And also, if you can also send us your yun, yung entries ninyo sa ating website. I guess that ends our webinar this evening. Thank you very much, Miss Joji, and to all our change makers listening to us here through our Zoom call and through our Facebook account. Daghan kayong salamat sa inyong pag-anhi even sa karon nga kagabhion. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you all in the next webinar, which is scheduled on November 28th. That's Launchpad, repurposing food waste for sustainability. I hope you will still be interested to look for opportunities for to answer our food waste woes. So and our boot camp as well. Our registration for the Hult Prize will be until November 30. So register now. And also our boot camps will begin on December 1 and 2. And our competition, I guess it's December 5, if I'm not mistaken. All information is already posted on our Facebook page and our Instagram account. So just check that out. So thank you very, very much for your participation. Again, this has been Rob Gumba, your operations manager at the HP at UM, and your moderator saying daghan kayong salamat, and we will wait for you all, change makers. Good night. Thank you very much.